Previously on Chat with Mum and V.
Marriage was never meant to be selfish. In fact, the thing that teaches you about giving, about selflessness, about sacrifice is marriage. A man enters a box. He's in that box at that time, does whatever he's doing, and he forgets, and he moves on. Do you understand? Which doesn't argue well, because whether you forget it or it'll still catch up with you.
Yeah,
it'll still catch up with you. So it's sad, but it's something that it needs to stop, and it can only stop by the women knowing who they are.
No, I'm gonna disagree.
Okay.
I think it can only stop by older men who have been there, speaking out and speaking out. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think we need men
to come out,
to talk about it,
and to
give men advice, because, you know, as the mothers or as the girls or the girlfriends and friends, we always put it all on, you know, we need to be secure, we need to keep up, we need to, and we do, and we're doing fine in that. But I mean, at some point, the boys need to hear it from men too, where they know a man's standpoint.
You're so correct. I really, really like that. I really like that. And especially a man that's gone through it and has really been taught something that, you know, he needs to teach others. That's so powerful. Because, you know, even the word of God tells us, like, the older women, like me now, should teach you, the younger woman, you know, on marriage, life. I should teach you. So the older men should teach the younger men.
Yeah.
Like, don't come out, because it doesn't pay. And at the end of the day, it's really a major struggle. Your ego will be boosted, but for a while. Then after that, it will be tears and wondering, oh my gosh. Meanwhile, the wife doesn't want to see you. When a woman cries her last tear, hear me today. When a woman cries her last tear like this, and she wipes it, it's a wrap.
It's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's done. She's not turning back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of men confuse us constantly forgiving and coming back as something that will always happen. But, you know, we have limits.
Yeah, there are limits. There are limits.
Yeah.
There are limits. Oh my gosh. There's something else you are reading in Swahili.
No.
Please, you need to read a bit and then ask in English.
Okay, so during the Daughters of Zion meeting, we dealt on relationships, and there was a plethora of questions, most of which we didn't get to. But some of them I just asked because I knew we'd be doing this podcast, so that maybe we can answer a few. So the first one is, kuna kijana nilikuwa na yeye kwa relationship, lakini akaniwacha akaenda kuoa msichana mwingine, na akiniwacha nilikuwa na mimba yake, nikajikaza nikazaa. Sasa huyu mwanaume ananisumbua, anashinda akikuja akiwa mlewa na hata apologize. Kila time akikuja anakuja kwetu kama melewa na hashughuliki na mtoto. Nasikia uchungu sana, juu naona ananidharau. Nifanyaje?
Oh. That is, so what did you understand by it?
Okay. So this lady, for all our English viewers, was in a relationship with a man, and he left her and got married, but she was pregnant. So she kept the baby and gave birth. Now he's disturbing them, going to her constantly when he's drunk. And every time he goes to her place, he doesn't even apologize. He goes drunk and doesn't even ask or question about the child, I'm sure, even though he knows it's his. So she's hurting and she doesn't know what to do. So, you know, she's asking us, you know, what happens there?
He is already having another woman.
Yeah,
right?
He's married.
He's already, yeah, he's moved on.
Yeah.
So he just wants you to be like a side
Pretty much. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's how I'm reading the question.
And then he's not even asking you about his child. Already he can show you clearly
He doesn't
that he's
care.
an irresponsible man who doesn't care. Who doesn't care. He's getting benefits by coming to you. And so, you know what? I think it's time for you to just brace yourself and say bye-bye. Because if he's already gone and started another family, why do you want to waste your life around him?
Yeah.
And he doesn't even ask you about your child. That's his child.
Yeah.
He doesn't even care. He has never asked about the child. Like, I think that's just, for me, the writing is on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think we've heard this from people already in the past, where I think you need to draw a very clear distinction, a line in that relationship. This is clearly not the person who's trying to be with you. He doesn't care about you. Not enough, clearly, to get married knowing you're pregnant and coming to you drunk, right? So he doesn't even have the audacity to see you sober. He doesn't care. So you need to really be clear on the relationship you have with this man. If you want him to be in your child's life, although it seems like he doesn't care, give him access. I genuinely believe that fathers should always have access to their kids, assuming they're not crazy, hitting them or any other meandering that's ridiculous. They should have access to their kids. It's important for kids to grow up with access to both their parents where it can happen. So facilitate that. Create an environment where that's possible. But for your pain to stop, you need to let him go.
Yeah.
This man is not for you. Doesn't care about you. Okay? So I would just be thinking, how can I, if possible, protect that future relationship for my kid and him? And move on. Find
Move on.
someone new.
Move on. Move on, baby.
Move on. Now we have one last question, and then we're done.
Okay.
Where is this from? Okay. Mine is a bit different. I'm from a broken relationship with 3 children. Then I entered into another relationship. Now we're at a place of ending it. This guy has stopped supporting in school fees. And he's extended, my daughter's affected in an extended way. She's saying men are not good. What should I do?
Wow. Okay, so these kids are not his kids.
That's how it's
because she
reading.
got into the relationship with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's showing her his true colors. Like,
No, it just
he's not
it sounds
interested.
like they just ended, yeah.
Yeah. So he's not interested.
Yeah.
Like, even in the relationship. Again, I think it's just time for her to quit. I think it's time for you to move on. Like,
But-
he's showing you he's not interested in you or the kids. What you need to do is let the kid know that having a bad relationship between you and the man doesn't mean that men are bad. Because now she's saying that the kid thinks men are all terrible. Yeah, I think she needs to change that notion on the kid, because it's not good for the child to grow up thinking men are this and men are that. And I think that's also something that grown-ups need to really do. They need to be very careful on the picture they're portraying to their kids relationally. Because you see, if you have a fight with your husband or that man, it should not now be directed to show your kids that relationships are horrible.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, grown-ups should be mature enough not to be fighting and bringing up their mess in the presence of their children. Yeah.
No, I agree. Who knows? Perhaps the man left because the pressure of this was too much. Taking care of kids that weren't his. You don't know. You know, you've only had one side of the story. But it's really unfair for her to let the kids go on feeling like men are the problem.
Exactly.
I wish we'd spend a lot more time shielding children from grown-up issues. So I'd say, spend more time talking to your daughter around some of the positive aspects of men. And if you've never seen it, get help, like therapy.
Yeah.
Learn about it. I'm sure there's some people, some friends that you have who are in stable situations. Ask them for guidance.
It's so important.
Like, we need the next generation to break generational traumas. that we currently
Exactly. And
experience.
to know what's right. Like, if you're a grown-up, please stop fighting in the presence of your children.
Yeah.
And let them not go thinking, oh, men are bad or women are bad. Just based on what they've had to encounter.
Yeah.
So it's very important for you to change that child's notion.
Yeah. Okay. What is your view about prenups in a Christian context? Mom?
I had a friend some years back. Actually, she really played a pivotal role in prenups in the US. She was married to a pastor, and then the pastor died at some point, in their marriage. They had 2 kids, big kids, but then the pastor died. And as he was dying, she developed this close relationship with this person who would take her to hospital, who would be very close and very tight. And long story short, they fell in love after, the husband went to be with the Lord. And after they fell in love, they were really, they were like, they looked like they were even made for each other. Like they were that close. And then she was completely blinded by love, that she never saw that this guy had ulterior motives. And the worst thing is that he was signing, he learned, he worked on her signature until he got it. And guess what? He started changing things to himself. And he would change and change it, and then he started wiping the account, wiping it out. And she was wondering, okay, oh my goodness, we were so in love, what's going on? By the time she's waking up, the guy had literally taken everything that belongs to her. And because the signatures were okay, the banks were just giving him the money and whatever. And he was just playing this nice boy, like he's the one who would go to the bank. Honey, you don't need to worry. I got you. You don't need to worry. So guess what? She went and she checked and realized that he was sweeping everything, houses, anything she had. I'm telling you, he took everything that belonged to her and her children. And guess what? She now started this campaign of the prenup, because she was like, you know what? I never saw it coming. So she started telling everybody. So because she was a friend of mine, she's the one who was now giving me that story. So you asked, what do you think about it in a Christian? I think it's important, especially if you had children, and then something like that happens, and now it's you and your children, and then there's this relationship that has come up.
Okay, so you're saying for remarrying purposes.
For remarrying purposes.
Okay.
For remarrying purposes. If you're going to remarry, then it needs to start on that, at that point.
Okay.
What you had before, because that's what prenups are about.
Yes.
It's very, very important that what you had before is known, that is for you and your children. Why do I say that? Because again, there are so many people that are marrying somebody because of what they have.
Yeah.
Male or female. Because they are like, wow, this one, oh, I'm sorted for life. So you marry, and then guess what? Your children start struggling. They have nothing because this new person perhaps even came with their own children. And before you know it, everything is wiped out again. So yeah, so prenup, there's nothing wrong with that.
What about when you're getting married for the first time?
Oh, for the first time?
Okay, can I answer that one?
Okay, let me first answer and then you answer. No, I don't think so. That's my take.
Okay, I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to say no for the first time. Simply because when you get married with an exit strategy, you're always going to find one. Now, at some point before I got married, I considered it. It was a consideration. And we even discussed it and I brought it up. And then I changed my mind because it dawned on me, I'm getting married with an exit plan. and you don't want to enter a lifelong commitment
With a plan B.
with a plan B.
Yeah.
If that's where you're at, don't do it. Don't get married. If you have doubts about where a person stands, don't do it. So my suggestion on the financial side, because it seems like we do prenups to secure financial sides, is write your wills in a way that they can't be disputed. Have bank accounts in a way that you both have access. So what me and my husband did is we had a joint account. We had an account for our daughter. We have our individual accounts. We both have access to our each individual accounts, and we have a savings account. You know, we all access to all those 5 accounts are quite clear. Your own individual account, you do it as you please. You know, the joint accounts, anytime something's gone, there's such transparency in the way we deal with money that it's never even a question of, oh, someone is going to try to take it, or someone's going to try to steal what happened.
It's open.
Beforehand.
It's an open book.
It's such an open book.
That's what has kept your father and I safe.
Yeah.
Because we agreed this from the beginning. It's amazing, because I was discussing it with somebody today.
Okay.
Yeah, they were asking, you know, exactly that. Like, if somebody comes into your life and you have this money, should you put it out there? Should it be out there, or should that be yours? But you're married. And so I was telling them that my husband and I agreed from the very beginning that we will never allow money to divide us. It will not be, this is mine, this is yours. You know, even though you'll have an account, it should not be like, you know, like it's my thing and you can't touch it. He can actually touch it, and I can also touch. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you allow money is powerful. Money is a force.
It really is.
Money is a force. If you allow it to come between you, it's going to come forcefully. Or it's going to divide you big time. And unfortunately, a lot of relationships are also messed up by money. We'll talk about this. This is a whole topic. This is a whole topic for another day. But Vanessa, so a young girl out there desires to get married. What do you think she should look for in a man?
Oh, this is so hard because it's so personal. I think when you're choosing who to get married to, but key things, values. I think you should always ensure your values are aligned. Okay, I'm talking. Let's say you're Christian and you are in a relationship with someone who isn't. Does that affect how you bring up your kids? That's what I mean when I say values. How are they with their family? That's also very important when you look at values. How are they with you as an individual? Are they your champions, or are they boxing you in? And this is particularly with men who date strong, goal-oriented women. Is he making your stars too high, or is he letting you shoot for them? That's very important. You need someone who can champion you. And how they are for men, how they are with their mother is a very good indicator of how they'll be with you. But also make sure their mother is not in your relationship. Trust. Respect. You should have a very healthy respect for your mother-in-law. It's important. But make sure she does not run your relationship.
That's what you mean. Okay. You'll continue in a minute. So that's what you mean about in your relationship. Like, make sure she's not the one running the show.
Yeah, make sure she's not running the show. You know,
Very
not telling
important.
you how to raise your kids, not telling you, oh, you're not cooking for your husband, how wrong, or, you know, they do that. Just or
they can run the show.
You didn't come greet him fast enough when he walked in. Things like that. Those actually have a really big impact in your marriage. So just find a way to respect each other, because respect is paramount. Please understand. Even when you disagree, respect is paramount. So, you know, and honestly, a man who fears God is very important, because life is full of tribulations. It really is. It really is. And sometimes you have nothing but the reliance on God's promise to you. And if you can't be with someone who fears that, or at the very least respects that, good luck, man. This world is going a bit crazy. And Dennis Okari had said something a while ago, which I fully agree with. We all have a list that we write at some point in our lives of what we want. Go back to that list. I can tell you this for free. I married that list to the T. To the T. It's not always possible, but there's non-negotiables that you do have on that list.
Yes, exactly.
At the very least, stick to those non-negotiables. And last piece of advice. When someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
Believe them.
Believe them. And don't be thinking that you're going to change them.
Don't think you're trying to change no one. Believe them.
That's who they are.
That's who they are.
Because a lot of women, we have this thing of, I'm going to change him.
Yeah.
I'm going to change him. And okay, you're a young girl, you're getting married, this guy has started hitting you. He's told you it's a mistake. I'm so sorry.
So
yeah, it was just, you know, it's just, I could never do that. I can't even believe I did that. Me? Oh my gosh. What would you advise?
Are you married? Does he hit you before marriage or
It's
after?
before. He has hit you before. You're on your way to marriage.
Don't do it. Don't do it. If he's going to change, make sure he's done it well before marriage. I'm talking, you've left him. He's sought therapy. He's gotten help. Because again, I think people can change. I think people grow. Like I said, where me and my husband grew when we were 25 is not where we are now. But there's attributes of people that don't change when you permit it, right? So when he hits you and you let it go, that's you permitting it.
Yeah.
As a character flaw. And he'll keep on building on that, building on that, building on that, because you've permitted it as a character flaw. Sometimes, step back. If you genuinely believe this is a person for you, let him go. He'll come back. He'll come back fixed. I'm talking he's sought therapy. He's worked through his demons.
He's healed.
He's healed.
Yeah.
Because healing can happen.
Yeah.
And you have to know that without a shadow of a doubt.
Because otherwise you're going to start a trend that you wish you never did.
Yeah.
You wish you never did. So you must have the non-negotiables.
Yes.
You must have values. And put those values in place.
Yes.
And then don't lower your dignity. Don't lower yourself so that you can reach where somebody is.
Yes.
By going downwards.
Yeah, don't be less of you to accommodate someone's ego, by the way. That's usually what causes that.
Because you're trying to accommodate their ego.
And someone said this, and I find it so powerful. There's no such thing as you're not good enough for a man. No, you're with the wrong man. You're good enough for a man. Like, everyone has such different characteristics that are so specific.
That's so powerful.
You know, like you have your person. So don't take on what someone said about you in a past relationship as who you are.
That you're not good enough for a man.
Yeah, or for them, you're just not good enough for him.
Yeah.
And he's not good enough for you either, sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a two-way traffic.
It's a two-way traffic.
So don't take that as gospel truth, that now you're bad, and you start actually looking at yourself like you can't make it in a relationship. Don't take it.
Yeah. And this is from guy friends of mine. Never show a man how to love you. Huh? When a man loves you, you'll know. So if you're feeling like you're having to tell him how to do it,
Ati, please just
my friends,
show me the
you're a placeholder.
So
that's from my guy friends.
Yeah. And you have a lot of guy friends, by the way.
Yeah.
So in a relationship, it's good to know who you are, and then know what it is that you want. Know the direction you want to go. Don't be driven to places you never wanted to go just so you can fit in, right? Because there are people who don't have direction, you know. So you come, this relationship drives them there. Then they leave that one. Yeah, they start another road. They go to some different place altogether. Then they meet somebody. So they don't even know themselves. They don't even know whether they are coming, going, or gone. And it's important for you in a relationship to know, what do I want? What do I want? Do I even want this relationship? Do I? You know, and if you don't force it. Don't insist, because otherwise you're going to end up in some relationship that really is not workable.
Yeah, and again, other nuggets of wisdom. I think a lot of people today think of the wedding day as marriage. The wedding day is just the start of a race, you know. So I think I wish that younger people go into marriage with that knowledge. This is just the first step. Dating is ground zero. Marriage is step one. Then you move on. The wedding day is a one day. One whole day.
The real deal begins in the house.
The real deal begins that evening.
And honeymoon. And many people even fight during honeymoon.
The honeymoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this delusion of thinking, oh, I can't wait to walk down the aisle. It's fun and it's great. So it's one day.
Yeah. After that. Actually, that's just a preparation of the journey. And this is what I say, even as we conclude, that marriage is the only thing that begins with a certificate.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you a certificate to start working towards it. So it's the one that starts from the end, then it goes back to the beginning. Yeah. You know, because there's this beauty, like you're saying, splendor, you know, walking down the aisle with this white outfit. I mean, your wedding gown is beyond, it's expensive and amazing. And his tuxedo, oh my gosh, like it's really, really out there, really amazing. The final day, you look so beautiful. But now you go and remove those clothes and you wear mechanic clothes and get your hands dirty to start working, yeah, on that relationship. Because you start from the end, you come to the beginning and start building it up. Isn't it?
And just one thing before we say goodbye, ladies, marry your friend.
Yes.
Marry your friend. You need to be friends with your husband. Let me tell you, it is the best, because love is an emotion, right? It comes and goes. Frankly, it comes and goes. You know, the way you can be happy and sad, it's a fact. But being with your friend,
even in your down moments, he's still your friend.
Yeah.
In your up moments, he's still your friend.
Yeah.
So marry your friend. That is so powerful. Yeah. And I say that all the time. It's so important to marry a friend. Somebody that is to go to.
Yeah.
No matter what.
When something happens, this is the first person you want to tell.
Yeah, you want to call them.
When something is good, bad, ugly, this is the person you want to communicate with. Marry your friend.
Marry your friend. Marry your friend. Build on friendship beyond anything else. Well, I believe you have so many nuggets right now. Like, if you didn't write notes, please repeat.
I hope they were coherent.
I know. You know, we threw everything all over the place. But you know what? You got this.